Ultimately, as an artist, the most important number in your world is 31. It's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. If you can't afford $25 for a beat, let's just do this because you love it as a hobby. You're selling emotion. What emotion are people feeling right now? Time is greater than money. I can always get more money. I can't get more time. There's no DIY anything except masturbation. Dude, I can't afford it. I said, let me ask you this. Can you afford not to do it?
On today's episode, we sit down with Rick Barker. He's best known for being Taylor Swift's first manager, but this dude has been in the industry for 30 plus years, and Ray Daniels even calls him the music business oracle. Since working with Taylor, this guy's become a pioneer in the modern music business with a focus on artist development. Rick is a straight shooter with a no excuses mentality. We laid out the 7 most common reasons independent artists use as excuses for why they're not seeing success. Odds are you've used 1, 2, maybe 5 of these before, and Rick called out the bullshit on every single one. So put your emotions to the side, grab a notepad, and let's get into the episode.
In the industry right now that pisses me off is that, and this all started with Clubhouse, it's like all these faceless voices were experts, and the hot keyword was metadata. So then everybody was selling you metadata courses, and I'm like, that ain't. I don't care if your metadata is right and your music sucks. You got to get the music right first.
Absolutely,
it's just nuts.
We got Rick Barker on the podcast, Henry. Did you think we could ever do it?
Not in my wildest dreams, man.
Dude, you know why I'm here?
Why?
Is because
Ray Daniels?
No, it was. Okay. You guys sent out probably the most thorough, here, give us your email and we'll send you these tips. And the way that you put it together, the professionalism in which it was done.
Shout out to us.
Made me reach out, not realizing we had already followed each other. It's like whenever something comes across my desk, my phone, like with most people, it's usually BS. It's usually the basic of basic. Anyone could have gone on Google and got this information. Anyone could have gone to ChatGPT and got this information. But you guys were giving resources, references, and it was so well put together. At my age, and as long as I've been doing this, my job is to find badasses and start introducing them to my audience. And for a lot of that reason is that there's nothing different that you said inside that handout that I haven't been preaching for the last 10 years. But at some point, people get tired of hearing it from me.
Yeah.
And I know how important it is that they hear it. So I'm going to introduce them to other messengers. I always share the example. I said, it's like my wife. We've been married for 25 years.
Yep.
I could have said something to her 15 times, but then Victor, the neighbor, says it, and it's the best thing she's ever freaking heard. And I'm like, Victor's a smart guy. You know, I put my ego away a long time ago because if you truly want to help people, you don't necessarily need to be the one getting the credit for it. It's like, let me lead you to the right people. You know, let me introduce you to the experts. It's like, I don't want to be the expert in everything, but I want to have access to the experts.
Well, you know what you just signed yourself up for? Anytime I'm trying to get through to Henry and he just won't fucking hear me out, Rick, I'm going to have you on speed dial to connect with my buddy here.
We've been looking for a tiebreaker for a while, so honestly, I'm good.
A marriage counselor.
There you go. Please. God, we need couples therapy sometimes.
And couples therapy is good. It's like, I always look at it like this too. It's like, if you both have the same goal. Now, understanding your business, you both have the same goal. Disagreements are okay as long as we're going after the same goal. But if I'm going to disagree with you just to get my way, fuck me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where people, I think, make the mistake sometimes is they want to win so bad that they lose sight of what the goal of the business is or what the goal of the project is.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Tehran, and that's why I love Ray, and that's why I love associating with people that says, look, there's different ways to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, this time it's probably going with Henry's. idea.
Yeah.
Even though it may take us a little bit longer, it's like, do you want to have success or do you want to be right?
Yeah. No, and that I will say that about us.
I think we're pretty good.
Exactly.
At that.
That's usually not an issue. We usually are marching towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we have gotten good about like, and I can't remember who it was that said this, but like, I just want Henry to be like, no, bro, like I really believe in this and this is what I want to do. And I'm never going to really be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So
but
I think
the other thing too is if you can make it his idea, like people get pissed at me because they'll ask me questions and I'll answer with a question. Because
yeah, that's that wizardry shit. I know
Well,
you.
I
I know your type, Rick.
So I
Make it
just
seem like it's Henry's idea.
I just want you to say it, so then I could say that is a brilliant idea. That's called human nature.
I'm gonna get your ass. Bro.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
onto
called
it.
human nature. You know, when I was dealing with Taylor and she was a teenager, you know, it's like it needed to become her idea.
Yeah.
Because teenage girls especially, it's like, I don't want you telling me what to do all the time. I'm like, and I don't want to be telling you what to do all the time.
Yeah.
So I would answer questions with questions.
For sure. Well, yo, we got the music business oracle. So Ray Daniels called him the oracle.
Ooh.
You seemed really confused as to what he was even saying.
Ray uses
I mean,
those words.
now you're the oracle, bro.
Yeah.
He said it with such conviction. I was like, yeah, Rick is the oracle.
Ray has a way of saying things that you end up believing.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was like, yes, Ray, he is the oracle.
Yeah.
But no, I
That's funny.
think, you know, the way we wanted to structure this episode is I think, you know, there's a lot of myths that I think way too many independent artists find themselves falling victim to believing.
Sure.
So I really want to just use this time spent with Rick Barker, the Oracle. I'm just going to keep saying that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to read these comments.
Yeah. This guy's not a
He's so
fucking
full
oracle.
of shit. Yeah.
Oracle my ass.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I just think let's try our best to, once again, explain why some of these myths might be able to be debunked, right?
Yeah.
Because I do think we probably agree on a lot of the reasons why they're not necessarily true. So I want to start with our favorite.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you know what my favorite is?
Because we've talked about it before.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It might not still be your favorite, but basically,
I know which one's my favorite. We'll see.
all I need is the proper funding and I'll blow up.
It's a good one.
Just money, bro.
Yeah.
I just need money.
Yeah.
A lot of independent artists think that that's true.
Sure.
Why is that not necessarily the case? What are your
Okay.
thoughts about the money subject?
So you do need money to run a business.
Correct.
Okay. Any business.
Correct.
So a lot of times artists will think that they're what's the best way to say it without pissing them off? They're the exception to the rule.
Okay.
My music's so good that it's just going to rise to the top and everyone's going to show up. If money were the deciding factor, then why is it that the majority of artists that get signed to labels get dropped? There's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of people with experience. There's no shortage of connections. There's no shortage of resources. So it's not all about the money. It's knowing what to do with the money. It's knowing that at what stage are you at? It's like if your music sucks, then put your money into getting your music right and not jumping on every marketing idea that's out there. If you're going to market something, make sure you're marketing the best. So it's knowing that every person who has money, there's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of resources. There's a shortage of resourcefulness. So become resourceful with what it is that you have. So for example,
Yeah, I was going to say, what does that look like?
So for example, I am not in a position to afford proper production. So what I do is I structure a deal with Henry. I say, you know what? Henry is the production expert. So instead of me paying Henry, I'll just make some math, $500 for a track, why don't I go to Henry and propose a business proposition and say, okay, Henry, listen, I can't afford the $500 a track, but I know how to market once I get the right track. So why don't we become partners in this song? Why don't you control, own half the master? Why don't make it a little bit more appealing to Henry to say, wow, I could get paid $500 now, or wow, Ben really knows how to market. He can go make us $20,000 and I'll get $10,000 because I'm a 50-50 partner. So that's what I mean by being resourceful. It's like if you are a great producer And I don't care how great your songs are if no one hears them. And Ben's an expert marketer. You're going to reach out to Ben and saying, hey, instead of me just paying you for your service, which I'm more than happy to do, why don't we become partners in this? Why don't your percentage be what you're good at? My percentage will come from what I'm good at. So now we have two people with different skill sets collaborating, partnering together to make this thing happen instead of just sitting down. It's like, I always tell people, it's like, if you can't afford production, BeatStars.
It's there.
Yeah.
Just go type in what style of music you want to do. Now, the problem that I ran into with BeatStars was that people were buying a beat. No one ever taught them how to top line.
Yeah.
So that's why I just went to Tron. I said, hey, what if we could help these people that are out there? Because we know they're struggling. We know that there's people that don't have the financial means. But if you can't afford $25 for a beat, let's just do this because you love it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Let's just start spending more time on YouTube, learning how to create your own beats then. So let's stop making excuses. Myths is another word for excuse. Mm-hmm. It's like, I didn't succeed because so-and-so held me back. No, you didn't succeed because you weren't willing to do whatever it took. You thought that whatever it took was making the right relationship with the person that's going to bring you up.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I help you build one song, and I think it's the greatest song ever, I need to help you build 100 songs.
Yeah.
I need to help you build 1,000 songs, because I can't walk you into a label with one song.
Yeah.
I can't walk you into a label with no following. I can't walk you into a label. They're going to look at me and go, dude, there's still work that needs to be done. You just wasted the opportunity. Why are you even coming here right now? You know they're not ready.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Ray, is that everybody thinks that because he has connections to everyone, we have to pick and choose when we bring the right person in to be able to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
We've always thought it was ironic how some of these artists who are like the most creative people in the world, their creativity just ends with the music. But it's like, if you do want to do this seriously, then you are running a business. Why would you not exploit that creativity that you clearly have a gift for naturally in your business?
Well, if you need $100, figure out how to make $100.
Well, so let's actually go there. So, I mean, what are the most common ways you see, newer or developing, emerging artists getting funding? Like, is it just, side jobs, like right? Like,
exactly. You have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You, for example.
Yeah.
You're not paying your bills from this podcast.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right.
Subscribe.
So
Please like,
To the
comment, and
Patreon.
subscribe.
absolutely. But does that mean that you stop doing this? No, you're doing something else to afford you the ability to pursue your dream of making a living off of the podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll hear artists say, like, I sell mentorship, I sell courses, I sell trainings. And they're like, Rick, when I start making enough money with my music, I'll be able to afford your stuff. And I said, the problem is you can't afford not to have my stuff, because what my stuff is going to do is teach you how to make money.
Come on, bro. You sleeping over there? Give me some bombs or something.
Soaking it in.
But
Give me a second.
That's the thing, is it's like, okay, if I need $500, do you really need your grandma to buy you that pair of Jordans? Or would you say, Grandma, listen, I am really wanting to pursue my music career. I would love money. I would love the money. It's like, you can't achieve your dream with what you're wearing. You can't achieve your dream with things that are, it's like we were talking about golf earlier. Do I need a $400 driver, or should I take $100 and go learn how to hit the freaking driver first?
Yeah.
But everybody just keeps buying $500 drivers thinking that's going to fix it. No,
Some
you
buckets
need
of
to
range balls, my
fix
boy.
what the root of the problem is.
So what are the first things an artist should spend money on, right? So like,
Yes.
if I did have $1,000, which, like, to a lot of artists, that's a lot of money. So like, what should I be spending on?
What
first?
do you need?
God damn it, Rick. He is the fucking oracle, man. The way you just
What
Answer the question with a question.
What is it that you need?
What do you think most artists say they need? Because you work with a lot
what
of
they
them.
say they need and what they actually need are two different things.
Okay, let's break that down.
What they need is competitive music first, because even if you're just going to post on social, even if you're just going to try to build an audience on social, we live in an attention economy.
Yeah.
We're Gary Vee fans. We understand.
Yep.
We're trading attention.
I mean, not as much as you.
Well, start going out and yard sailing. If you need to make money as an artist,
right.
go yard sailing.
Yeah.
But what you have to understand is that you need to figure out what it is that you need first. So in order for your music to be competitive, I'm going to need that first. Yeah. So my attention should be, for the next year, it's going to take me $1,000 to get 5 solid tracks.
Yeah.
Now I can wait until I get the full $1,000, or I can go and say, okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm working this job over here.
Yep.
I'm going to get a credit card, and I'm going to pay $200 for each for 5 tracks, and now I have $1,000. I've spent $1,000.
Yeah.
I only have to make the minimum payment on this credit card. It's probably $20 a month for a minimum payment. But that's not how people look at it.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, I don't have $1,000. Do you have $25? Well, I don't have good enough credit to get a credit card with $1,000 on it. Okay. Then you need to go figure out how to get $1,000 cash because you fucked up your credit. And now this opportunity, it's like, just because opportunities are available doesn't mean they're available to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, like growing up, I grew up poor. I grew up on the free lunch program. If I got 1 pair of jeans for school, I learned how to do laundry so I could wash the same pair of Levi's, because if I wore the Kmart pants, I was going to get fucked with by these kids at school. So I was resourceful to learn how to do laundry.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be a DJ. I could not afford the equipment. I could not afford buying records. I couldn't afford anything. But I found a rich kid who was business-minded like me, and I used his money and my hustle, and we formed a business together, and we had one of the first mobile DJ companies in California. I've always gone out and found there's somebody out there. It's like there's somebody in your town, no matter where you live in the world, that says, you know what? I think Ben's got talent. But the problem is Ben has never told that guy what Ben actually needs. Man, you're always complimenting me. I appreciate it. At some point, you're going to be able to work into a conversation. Ben, what is it that you might need in order to be able to take it to the next level?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you asked. I need to get 5 songs done. Now, a businessman is going to say, what's it going to take for you to get those 5 songs done? I need $1,000. Great. So why don't I do this? You get the songs done. You have the person send the bill to me, and I'll pay the bill to get those 5 songs. And when you're in a position to be able to pay me back, I want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Too often, artists are keeping what they need private out of ego. Yeah. They want everybody to think they've already made it. They want everybody, but it's like, find that business person in your town that $1,000 is a drop in the bucket to them. Yeah. But they would love to see you succeed. Maybe they heard your song and went, man, that song is great.
Yeah.
Ben, what could it take? Hey, Rick,
just $1,000.
You're a big business. You're a great business guy. Let me ask you a question. If you were in my position, I'm writing these songs, but I need to get these songs recorded, and I need $1,000 to do this. As a businessman, how would you go about getting that? Now they're going to be appreciative that you came to them, acknowledging that they're a smart businessman. Mm-hmm. And a good chance they're going to say, you know what? Tell me more about what you need this money for. Yeah. Well, I found this producer, Henry. It's $200 a song. Once I get that song, I can start building my social media following. I can start building a bigger audience. I can start posting to Spotify. It's like, we're not going to make a ton of money, but I can start getting my name out there. You know what? I believe in you, Ben. Tell me where I can help invest in your business.
Let's go. Myth number 1, debunked.
Debunked.
Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Become resourceful.
Become resourceful.
It's a nicer way of saying
exactly.
Yeah. Sure. Or that.
Yeah. All right. Myth number 2. Everyone is going to like my music. Everyone.
Tehran said something to me yesterday that I loved, and I'd never thought of it like this. He says, Rick, there's 365 million people in the United States. No one has ever sold 365 million records.
And that's just here.
That's just here. Yeah. And I said, interesting, because a lot of times I'll say to an artist, who's your audience? Oh, dude, everyone's my audience. No, they're not. No, they're not. So you don't need everyone to be successful. You need to find your people. The problem is that they all think they need millions of followers. They don't even know how to find 10 followers. So they're going to give up because they can't get to 1 million. So let's go find 10 people that like what it is that you're doing. Then Once we know they love what you're doing, now let's go find 10 more. Now we got 20.
How do we find the first 10?
The first 10 usually are going to be, the way I like to do it is I like to go find artists that already have an audience, that I feel that, hey, if I got a chance to open for that audience, or if that artist's audience heard my stuff, I think they would like it. That's where I start going in and teaching artists how to become detectives. Go in and start seeing who's leaving the comments, not the fire emojis, but, oh my God, Ben, that song changed my life. And then I'll go leave a message to that person. I'm going to pretend I'm the artist and say, oh my God, that song changed my life too. Now we have something in common. And then that person, because most of them don't have millions of followers, are going to go, dude, I've got a conversation going on with somebody online. It's like, hey, what about that song did you really like, Ben? Oh my gosh, I loved this part of the song. It's amazing because it was that part of the song that inspired me to start writing music.
Boom. They now know you're a musician.
Yeah.
They're fucking checking your shit out.
You ask them, say,
clever.
Can I ask you a question? Are you ever into discovering like new artists? Then shut up. Don't give them a link to your YouTube channel. Don't drop a SoundCloud link. Just ask them, are you into, oh my God, I love following new artists. Awesome. Would you mind if I shared some of my music with you? Oh, dude, I would love to hear it. Now they've just given you permission. There's a difference between spamming people and getting it to become their idea. What I talked about earlier. Now it's their idea. They're now asking you, hell yeah, I want to discover a new musician. Great, you send them your music. Hey, out of curiosity, what did you think about the music? Dude, I thought you were awesome. Great. Do you think your friends might like my music?
This is so good.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, my friends would love it. Awesome. Would you mind sharing that with them?
Yeah.
So now we're
They
just
already told you their friends would love it.
Yes.
So why would I not send my friends something that I know they would love?
Because when we like something, we share it with our friends.
Exactly.
When we don't like it, sometimes we share that with our friends too. Like, dude, don't go see that movie. You know, when I saw Red One, I was telling everybody, dude, you got to go see that movie. Oh, come on. It's got The Rock in it. Dude, it was awesome. You got to check it out. And now, you know, when we find stuff that we like, the problem is that we just expect people to find us. And I always say, stop trying to start the conversation. Go to where the conversation is already happening and figure out how to get yourself into that conversation without jumping in and being the loudmouth at the party or look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like, hey, you know what? That was one of my favorite concerts too. What was your favorite part of the concert? What song did you first hear that made you want to follow this band? Oh, it was that song. Yeah, that was my favorite song too. Now, because people want to be a part of community. They want to feel like they're having conversations with people. And quite honestly, people like to discover new music.
You think so?
I thoroughly believe it.
Wow.
People love their nostalgia too, though.
They do, and that's why Jack FM will always be available, and that's why when you go to a wedding, you're going to hear nothing but the hits.
Yeah,
There's not going to be...
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Absolutely. Dude,
Every time.
Every time. And We Are Family, and things like that. But at some point, you're going to the wedding for that. But it's like, the way I talk to the artist is I'm like, look, you're selling emotion. What emotion are people feeling right now? That's the best time to get in the conversation. So like, for example, if you're watching TV and you see a plane just went down and people died, what feelings do you think you might be feeling if you saw that?
Survivor's guilt, sadness,
Confusion.
Shock.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I have a song that I wrote after my grandfather died because I was confused. You know, I didn't know how I was feeling, and I wrote this song to help me get through that. I hope it helps you the way that it helped me.
So once we know the type of person that might like our music, because I think hopefully everyone understands that you don't need everyone to like your music. It's impossible. You're not going to get everyone to like your music.
The more people you try to please, probably the less successful you'll be.
For sure.
That's exactly it.
So once we maybe have that idea of who our target market is, like who the typical listener might be. What can we do with that information?
I'm going straight to meta, dude. I am going to now create a video with that song, with the hook of the song, and I'm going to target everyone who likes Journey. If they've shown an interest in Journey. So then what I'm going to do is I want to, like I said, I want to capture people where they're at right now. So if I've got a song about first love. Do you remember the first time you felt like you were in love? Oh my gosh, I know exactly how you feel. And that's what I wrote this song about. So now that's a hook. So now it's like, wait, push play. Now, the reason that I like Meta is because I can go and I can put a 60-second to 90-second video with the music and only get charged when people actually watch it for 15 seconds. What most people are doing is they're trying to get people on the first date to Spotify. They're trying to get people on the first date to go to their YouTube channel. And it's like, I never go to Instagram to leave Instagram. I don't go to Facebook. So I have to say, I'm going to meet you where you are.
Not to mention the platforms don't like when you leave that either.
Or that's why they would, make you run ads, because they're like, hey, if you're going to put a link to your YouTube video,
we're going to charge
you have 50,000 followers, I'm going to let 300 people see it.
Yeah.
And it might not be the 300 people that would leave. And then I'm going to say, oh, they didn't like your shit, so I'm not going to show it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want, you have to pay. That's business.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I want to get in front of that market, so I'm going to run a 60 to 90 second video. Now, the reason that I do that on discovery and awareness is because I can get people to watch this video for 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. Now, here's the magic. Everything that comes across your feed, when they push play, they chose you. I call that chosen marketing. They chose to listen to this video. Now, the reason that I go longer than most people are saying, dude, just run 5-second videos, 6-second, 15-second, 20-second. It's like, ultimately, as an artist, the most important number in your world is 31. Do you know why 31?
Because that's how much you need to get paid for
a stream.
Yeah.
From beginning.
I was like, wait, is
no,
this a
you're
trick
right.
question?
Yeah. From beginning to 31.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to pay, because remember, money is an issue.
Yeah.
You guys have already just acknowledged that. Why am I going to spend my money on people that will only watch 5 or 6 seconds of a video, knowing that they will never be able to assist me down the road? So what I'm doing is building an audience at the lowest price point possible of people that have said, I watch 75% of your video. So one, I already know that they liked me enough to watch more than 30 seconds. And now I'm going to show them an even longer video the next time at that lower price point. So I'm going to start building up 1,000 viewers, 10,000 viewers, 15,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers. And then I may run a retargeting ad to people that have watched 75% of this video and say, now I'm going to try to get them off platform. Now I'm going to experiment. And I'm going to say, can I get them off platform?
Let's go, bro.
And platform to me is, can I get them to my Instagram page? Can I get them to watch something? Can I get them over to Spotify? It's not until third date or fourth date that I'm going to try to get their email address, because I'm not going to go in and try too early, because I never went on Facebook and said, I'm going to give my email to as many people as I possibly can today. No. But that's what people are out there asking folks to do. They're asking people to do things that they would normally not do. And that's going to become frustrating. And that's going to be like, oh, Meta ads don't work. Well, there was billions of dollars spent on ads. I spent a lot of money on ads, things that I saw on Instagram that I thought my wife would love for Christmas, or I thought my son would like, or my daughter would like. So we spend money every single day on the right things, but sometimes we need to see it more than one time.
I think it's hard for a lot of people to grasp the concept of spending money for people to just see your name, see your face,
yes,
and not have a tangible result, even though that is part of the process.
But that's the thing. It's like when you drive down the highway, I was driving here and I saw IHOP. I didn't stop at IHOP, but I know next time I want pancakes with strawberries on them. I remember IHOP has pancakes with strawberries on them.
There it is.
But I did want to stop at Starbucks, and that sign reminded me that there was a Starbucks at the next exit. So I stopped at the Starbucks and I went to that exit. Did I need to be told who Starbucks is? No, I was just being reminded. It's like if the biggest brands in the world are constantly reminding us who they are and we know them very well, why wouldn't an artist who no one knows not learn from that strategy? So there's a secret that I'm going to share with you guys.
Ooh.
Okay. For those of you that run ads, for those of you that don't run ads, there's plenty of ways to learn how to run ads. Audience network.
Okay.
You familiar with audience network?
I thought that was more about like associated sites, but I think I'm wrong.
No, you're correct.
Okay, I'm correct.
So
it's
a Facebook ad that isn't on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So where these ads are running are on Like if you're
sneaker websites.
if you're playing Candy Crush,
Okay.
if you're playing a game,
Yeah.
they're going to say, Ben, I'll give you 5 more tokens. You just need to watch this video and I'll give you 5 more tokens.
Ooh.
I'm getting those plays for like 0.001, 0.002. So I'm like, shit, at some point, if the girl on the plane, who every time I'm on a plane, I'm seeing them playing solitaire, Candy Crush, whatever the latest game is, after about 7 times, if they go, you know what? I like this song. Who is this artist? I just use it strictly for a branding play. I know I can't retarget them. That wasn't the point.
Yeah.
The goal was to get people to hear my music.
Yeah.
And if they have to watch the whole entire ad to get their frickin' tokens, why not spend a percentage of a penny to do that?
Oh, the things people will do for an extra 5 gems and Candy Crush. I mean,
yes.
How many times do you think someone needs to see you on average or experience you till they really?
It depends on the quality. It's like, it depends on if you've got the good hook. That's why I'm like, let's use our best stuff, you know, because there's in marketing, they'll say 7 times, 7 impressions, 10 impressions. It's however many it is, because you don't know where their headspace is at that particular time. We know they weren't out searching for you, but when you set up your targeting, it's not going to show it to everyone who's playing Candy Crush. It's going to show it to everyone who's playing Candy Crush that likes Journey, that might be over between 20 and 50 years old. They still use the targeting.
Yeah.
It just happens to say, I'm going to go meet people where they are.
Yeah, it's just not on platform.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, Henry here. Sorry to interrupt this podcast, but there is something I have to address. As many of you know here at One More Time, we love doing live music reviews. We love hearing the music from our community and providing helpful feedback that is hopefully helping you further your career. But if there's one piece of advice that we are tired of giving, it's that your master is too quiet. We shouldn't have to turn up the volume for your song just to have to turn it back down for the next song. That's not good.
But Henry, good mastering engineers are so hard to find and so expensive.
Enter DistroKid's newest tool called Mixia. I master music myself, and while I don't think AI mastering will ever replace the quality you get from an experienced human mastering engineer, it's pretty damn good. And if you already distribute through DistroKid, you can now master unlimited tracks using Mixia. And if you don't, we have a link right here. You can sign up for DistroKid with 30% off, upload unlimited music yearly for an insanely cheap price. Humans perceive louder as better. It's dumb, but it's true. Use Mixia for a clean master and you won't sound weak on that playlist. Let's get back to the episode.
Myth number 2, debunked.
Debunked.
Let's go. Myth number 3. All I need is someone in the industry to put me on, and I'm gonna be out of here.
Pick me, bro.
I just need those industry connects, Rick.
I wish.
I need the right manager.
Yep.
The right fucking producer, A&R. Just they're gonna put me on.
And if that were the case, then why isn't every single person that Rock Nation put out a household name?
Yeah.
They got the connects.
Jay-Z got the money.
He does.
Got the money.
With a B.
Yeah.
He's got, why is it that he's got the best producers, the best writers, the best staff, best team? For whatever reason, most people, when you get to a label, think that it's now the label's job to do everything. A label will throw gasoline on your fire. They are no longer in a position or want to, because they're not selling $20 CDs anymore. We're all sharing on that same percentage of a penny. So what they're going to do is, as I tell artists, it's like, one is that you do not want to be signed to a label if you have nothing going on.
Yeah.
Because there's no urgency to get your stuff out. When you go to the label and the label says yes, you're an employee. When the label comes to you because you're popping off, now you become a partner. Jelly Roll was making millions and millions of dollars a year before he ever got his record deal. He built his own audience. He loved on his own audience. He trained his own audience. But he's not going to win ACM Male Vocalist of the Year, New Artist, without the record company.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's certain things that the record company brings to the table, but make it to the point. I always say, you've got to get from like 0 to 70, 0 to 80. They can take you from 80 to 100, but they're looking to acquire small businesses that are working. They're not in the startup mode anymore. And that's to the advantage of the creative, because like one of my artists that I work with, we just recently did a deal with Empire. we started with a distribution deal at Empire, and then they saw her work ethic. They saw what she was doing, and they're like, okay, now we want more. Now we want to be involved more. And now we have a much more favorable deal because of that. But what they did, which most labels won't, is that they're allowing her to stay on her delivery schedule. They're giving her the creative freedom that she wants. You know, you hear people bitching about, oh, the labels are trying to change me. Then don't go to a label.
Yeah.
You know, the labels gave me a bad deal. Well, then bitch at your attorney for allowing you to sign a bad deal.
Right.
You know, the bank's always going to protect the bank.
Yeah.
Like the bank owns my house. You know, I live in it. And I can do whatever I want in it, but ultimately the bank owns the house because the bank put up the money for the house.
Yeah.
It's the same way with a record deal. It's no different. They're the bank. So they're always going to write the most favorable deal for the bank.
Yeah.
So when you bring something to the table, you already bring an income stream. You already bring a fan base. You're not putting as much of the risk on them. You'll get a more favorable deal. But if they're going to put up all the money, take all the risk because you thought that, man, I just need to be put on. Okay. Now you're at the mercy of them determining whether you're a priority or not. And all of us want to be the priority in any relationship that we're in. So you don't need that. You can look at Nipsey, you can look at Russ, you can look at Jelly Roll, you can look at these artists that have popped off in the last couple years. A lot of them were already successful as what we would consider success. We're paying their bills, making money, had an income stream coming in. The label came in to do what it is that the labels do. They now can fund things bigger. They can now give you tour advance, you know, to help you get out on tour and make their money back. But when they're starting something from zero, it's really, really hard. And that's why when most of these artists walk into a label, get handed the producers, now we're at the mercy of trying to build an audience. And that it's not that the songs weren't great. It's not that maybe you weren't great. It's not that the label didn't know what they were doing. It's just how many hundreds of thousands of songs are getting released every day, and you're trying to stand out in a very noisy world right now. Let's just go find, like what was great with Jelly Roll, and he's a great friend, is that he had 1 million monthly listeners, but he was averaging 6 plays a month from every one of those monthly listeners.
Cult fans.
So what he did is he said, listen, I know that you maybe can't afford to come to my shows. I know that maybe you can't afford merchandise, but here's what I would love for you to be able to do for me is if you could just play my record every day, driving in the car, you're out at work. He told them what he needed them to do instead of them figuring out, how can I support you? During COVID, I shot this video and I said, listen, as a music fan, let me tell you how you can help support your favorite artist. A lot of them aren't able to tour right now. If you were going to go to that show and buy a t-shirt, go to their website and buy a t-shirt. If you stream their record, share their music with your friends. Those are ways, but no artist wants to come out and say, guys, I need your help. Taylor always told her audience what she needed. I need you to vote for me. When my CD comes out, I want to have a gold record. I need 500,000 of you to go out and buy it. When we were on stage, my manager made me sign all these CDs. If you go to the merch booth and buy one, you'll be my new best friend. When she said that, she'd sell 300 CDs at $20 a pop. When she forgot to say it, she'd sell 20.
I feel like a lot of artists feel like that's too salesy or annoying or something. Like, how do you respond to that type of perception?
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. You know, it's like if you...
Yeah.
So good.
It's the ego thing it comes back to.
Well, but think about this. You have your own problems that you're dealing with in your life, okay? So we're friends. I come up to you and I say, dude, I need your help. When I tell you what it is that I need help with, and you were able to help me a month ago, and you're the friend that I think you are, you're going to go, you dumb son of a bitch. Why didn't you come to me a month ago? I would have been more than happy to help you. But Henry doesn't wake up every day going, okay, here's my 5 closest friends. I wonder what they need today. I wonder what I have that could help them with what they got going on in their life. And Henry, even though he's got those cool shades, he's not a mind reader.
It's true.
You know, but he's also a caring enough friend to say, dude, why didn't you come to me?
Yeah.
You know, I personally can't help you, but I know someone who can help you. So it's like, let's get over ourselves. Now, not everyone's going to say yes. But we don't need everyone to say yes. We need one.
Especially if this is your dream. Like, if this is what you really want with your life.
That's my dream, though. It's not your dream, but if you could participate in it.
Right.
Let Henry know what it is that you need. Don't go, oh, fuck, Henry's going to make fun of me. He's going to call me a loser. He might, as he's helping you.
Yeah.
As he's helping you, if he's that type of person. And it's like I had a couple artists that were struggling with certain things. I said, have you gone to your fans and said, hey, I could use help in building my website? All of a sudden, 3 website developers were fans of this guy and said, dude, I'll get you hooked up tomorrow. What do you need? It's like, tell people what you need, but don't do it in a woe is me, feeling needy. There's a difference between sounding needy and sounding salesy.
Yeah.
When people come to me all needy, I'm like, get up. No, we're not going to let you go there. Get up. Tell me what it is that you need. Okay. What is it that I can do to help you? I may physically not give you the money, but let me help you find the money.
Yeah.
I can't help you record your songs. I don't do that. But tell me what it is you need. Tell me what it is that you have. And let's go out and be resourceful. Let's go out and find the people that can help us. You tell me you're a great songwriter. Yes, Rick, I'm the best songwriter ever. Awesome. Vocally, I suck. Great. Who do you write songs like? I write songs like Drake. Great. Go to YouTube, type in Drake covers. You're going to find a kid who sounds like fucking Drake, who can't write songs. So all he's doing is Drake covers, and you reach out to him and say, you know what? Would you ever be looking for original material? Dude, I want to be an artist. Of course I would. Great. I can write the songs. You sing the songs. Who produced your songs? I produce my own songs. Great. You're going to produce our demos. You're going to put them out into the world. And now we both have songs out in the world that we can be proud of. That's being resourceful. Or it's just whining. I'm over here. I can't do anything. You're right. You can't. Let me go find somebody who feels they can, because those are the people I can help. I can't help people that aren't willing to help themselves. I'm not that good. I'm just not, because I can't get up and make you want it. I know the work I'm going to put in. So do we want to work with needy people, or do we want to work with hungry people? Mm-hmm. You know,
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Yeah. Henry, myth number 3, debunked. You don't need industry connects.
You don't.
You can do this if you just are resourceful enough. It comes back to the resourcefulness. I feel like a lot of
It
this
really does.
I think it really does. And I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, we have a ton of artists in our community and just friend groups, honestly. And I mean, the ones that are winning are the ones that are figuring out how to get the things that they need done. Right? It's just like
barter.
You really are, as cliche as it is, like you really are the CEO of your own business, right? So
you're exactly right. And so I live in a little community called Nolansville. So we have a Facebook page called Nolansville 411. Every single day, someone's posting, I need someone to come remove trash from my yard. I'll pay cash.
yeah.
Go find things like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. All of a sudden, 5 people need their trash removed. You just made $500. You just got 2 songs recorded based off the math
there it is.
that we were doing earlier, and you have $100 left to market them.
Yeah.
There's your $500.
Yes, I think this is actually a perfect segue. I didn't even know I was teeing myself up here with the whole CEO of your own business thing. But myth number 4 is basically, I expect business results when I'm treating my music more like a hobby.
Sure.
Okay, so I think how should someone showcase that they're treating this like a real business, right? Like, you know, what are the key indicators that like they're not a hobbyist and they're serious about this and treating it like the business that it is?
So first and foremost, there is nothing wrong with just doing music because you love doing music.
Amen. And we say that a lot too.
I think more people need to admit that probably
for
to
sure,
themselves.
because
you're right.
Because our platform does gear towards, of course, like the people who are treating it like
the more
a business.
entrepreneurial minded.
Yes.
Exactly. But I think that there's still a place for, because maybe it can turn into that, right? Because maybe you're a hobbyist for a while.
Sure.
And then you realize that maybe you're ready to like treat it like a business.
Right. But also when you decide to treat it like a business, you have to also understand, what does it take to run a successful business?
Sure. So what should artists know they're signing up for?
Work.
Okay.
Yeah, work. You know, it's like if you and I are going to go start a restaurant. We've never started a restaurant before, but we can cook like motherfuckers.
Oh.
People always tell us how great our food is.
Okay.
If we're smart business people, we're going to reach out to someone who's already built a successful restaurant. We don't have to try to figure it out on our own. So we're going to start reaching out. We're going to start watching YouTube videos. We're going to start, where can I get the knowledge and the information that I need? Now, key, it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. More people have way too much shit in their head that they've never put into practice.
Yeah.
So if you're an artist, the first thing you need to understand is, one, you got to get your music right. Number two is you need to understand, if you do not register your music properly, the services will not know who to pay.
Yeah.
So go down.
That's like the number. That's the first step into, if I know you're serious as like treating this like a music business, that would be like setting up shop and not having a way to accept payments.
Right.
Yeah.
Then people would literally just be able to take your product for free and you never see the money for it. It's
I
like,
made a massive mistake early on in my teaching of the business.
Yeah.
I went straight for marketing. Because I'm always,
You assumed
I
everyone-
just assumed everyone had it. So
of course you're signed up for your PRO and publishing admin.
Oh, it gets even better.
And mechanicals.
So
and
I saw one of my clients. I call everyone a client. It's like I have people, thousands of people all over the world that have bought my courses, and we're on a coaching call, and he's like, dude, I just got my song on Sirius XM radio. So about 6 months later, I said, hey, out of curiosity, what was that first sound exchange check like? He's like, what sound exchange?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, sound. He goes, you mean my PRO? I said, no. I said, Sound Exchange takes care of Sirius XM, internet radio, and things like that. I said, but here's the good news. You got 3 years. Go in, register your song. So he went in, he registered his song, and he sends me an email. He goes, dude, I just got a check for $16,000.
oh, let's go Sound Exchange.
Let's go.
Friends of the podcast.
But-
we love Sound Exchange.
But had he not known, it's like
16,000 in the
16,000, that would have ended up in the
Evaporates.
black box.
Yeah.
Yes. 3 years from now, it would have ended up in the black box. So I'm like,
Taylor would have got some of that.
holy shit.
It's true.
Yeah. I said, holy shit. I said, I need to make sure that they're set up properly like a business first. So I went back to basics. I said, okay, go to songtrust.com, download their free publishing guide. They simplify what
I've read that
is
so many times.
one of the most complicated parts of the business. I said, unfortunately, here's the part about the music business that sucks. Your rewards are not in direct proportion to the work that you put in. You can't put money, resources, and manpower to fix it like they do in most businesses.
Yeah.
And the consumer doesn't have to pay
Yeah.
to consume the product. Most businesses would go broke. So if you're only making percentages of pennies, you need to make sure that you're getting every percentage of that penny that you can, because other people have, and they will end up getting your pennies. So those are some of the questions that I ask people. Are you registered with a PRO? No. But I also remember this. They don't know what they don't know. They're just kids that can make music. They're just people that love, they're just hobbyists that want to take it to a business. So when they come to me, I don't look down on them and say, oh, you should have known this. No, you only know what you know. So make sure that your songs are registered. Make sure that people have a way to pay you. Make sure that you are doing everything you can to get the right product in front of the right person. Too often, I feel people are trying to sell hamburgers to vegetarians. It's like they got the best hamburger in the world, but if you open up your hamburger stand in a town of vegetarians, you just screwed yourself. So trying to get everybody to like it. So knowing who your audience is, it's like I have this questionnaire that I send out, and it's like, can you describe who you are in a couple sentences? No? Okay, let's figure that out. Okay, if we do get someone's attention, because everyone's trying to get their attention, do we have something that they look at and go, okay, this is something I want to explore more? If not, let's get it right first before we waste money putting it in front of them. A lot of people, I was talking with Tehran yesterday, and it's like, how many hobbyists don't rewrite their songs? How many hobbyists just want to be the producer, want to be the engineer, want to be the master, want to be the mixer, want to be everything, and then they put out garbage? It's like, I love the hustle that you were getting it out, but you were You're going to get people, you're putting your chicken out before it's cooked. People are going to end up with salmonella. So when you treat it like a business, you're patient. Smart business owners are patient. The biggest people in the world, Elon Musk is patient. Steve Jobs was patient.
Oh, I mean, Chappell
Michael
Roan,
Jordan was patient.
Yeah, Chappell Roan just did some interview about her saying of like, this shit takes 10 years.
Yes.
Like it really, like, of course there's, I'm sure, handfuls, but barely exceptions to the rule of career artists who did, break and sustain long careers in less than 10 years. But like on average, I mean, you look at all these people who are at the top of the game, they've been doing this shit for so fucking long.
Taylor Swift's 23 years in right now.
Yeah. That's insane.
And I worked with her when she was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Right. She's 23 years in. She moved to Nashville when she was 12.
Yeah.
She started writing songs before that. But what she did, which most people don't remember, is from 12 to 16, all she did was get the music right. All she did was figure out who her audience was so that she could write to her audience. And now that audience has grown up with her, and now their kids are showing up to the shows. And now everyone's showing up to the shows. You don't have a $2.2 billion tour because you were lucky.
That was crazy.
You don't have a $2.2 billion tour because your daddy had money.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of parents with money with talented kids. So why isn't there 1,000 Taylor Swifts?
Yeah.
And that we used to get all the time. But it's like, once you understand that it's going to take time, once you understand, it's like, just because you decide to go to college to be a doctor, after the first semester, you're not practicing surgery. You're not even there yet. The music business is no different. Why everyone thinks it's different? It's like, you're trying to go from being the best high school player to the NBA. That's happened for about a handful of people.
Yeah.
And everyone in your little town goes, they're going to be in the NFL one day. Probably not. Everyone that plays every Saturday in college football, 5 of them.
Yeah.
If they're lucky.
Yeah.
And they may not sustain it for a long time. But if you look at our superstars, what they had, which a lot of artists don't have right now, is they had proper A&R. They had time to become. Beyonce had time to become Beyonce.
Yeah.
Drake had time to become Drake. The Weeknd had time. Bruno Mars had to shift. You know what? They don't think I'm good enough to be the artist yet, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do that. Pharrell did that. They did whatever they felt, and then they got their opportunity. But you can't take those 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Look at Kanye. You can't take that away from them. They were doing what they needed to do to continue to hone their craft. They've always been badasses. It's just it wasn't their turn yet. But once they got their turn, watch out.
Myth number 4, debunked. I feel like you already kind of covered this one, like weaving in and out of another one, but just another
with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. But myth number 5 that we wanted to talk about was the fact that labels still develop artists. So you were definitely hinting at some of this stuff, but just kind of to sum it up, what is the role of the record label in today's music business?
It's still to throw gasoline on your fire.
Okay.
And there are still labels that will develop.
Okay.
It used to be, I would find Henry living out in the wilderness, and I would say,
Like
you know
he
what?
does.
I
The
love
homeless guy on the street.
I love
a great voice.
I love what it is that he does.
He's going to be a star.
And we don't need Henry to make money right now in order to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
At the label, we have all these others that are doing that. So we're going to take the time to get Henry with the right songwriters, the right producers, figure out who he is, figure out what he wants to portray, what he wants to look like.
Yeah.
So that's what good A&R was. They were able to just develop you along the way. Now, Henry's got a song that just popped off TikTok. We're going to grab Henry, and we're going to try to get Henry out as fast as possible to take advantage of this. Unfortunately, people only liked the 45 seconds that was on TikTok. They didn't like Henry's original music. So, sorry, Henry, it's just not going to work right now.
Sorry, bud.
So there was shelf.
There was no development. Yeah, there was no development. It was like, hey, we're just going to try to take advantage of this opportunity. The other problem that I see with labels right now is that they're not in a position. And let me just say this more from the country music side, because I live in Nashville. I do a lot of consulting with labels and things like that. There is no system that's in place right now for us to take what Henry's got going, keep that momentum going, start slowly putting him into our system of, let's get him over here with creative. Let's go write a record. But what do we do to keep things going? And the analogy that I use, it's like, I'll give Ben some love now. So Ben's got this restaurant.
Thanks,
There's
Rick.
people are lined out the doors of this restaurant. They love the menu. Ben's killing it.
Yeah.
And then another company comes in and says, we want to acquire Ben's restaurant.
That's right.
So they give Ben some money, and then they shut the restaurant down.
Oh, fuck.
They change the menu.
Oh, shit.
They change the decor.
Damn it.
And then a year later, they try to open it back up. And people come and they're like, wait, this isn't the menu that we liked. This isn't the food that we liked. It looks nothing like what we fell in love with.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to a lot of independent artists. The TikTok ones right now is that there's no system to say, okay, your audience is accustomed to getting a song every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's take these 5 songs, let's break them out. So that means that right now we've got 6 months to get our first major label release off of you.
Okay.
Instead of just shutting it down, let this keep going the way that it's going. Okay. They've seen you as a hoodie and a jeans guy. We're going to try to dress you up a little bit. So instead of removing the hoodie, why don't we just get a cooler looking hoodie?
Yeah, it's not that
Why
cool.
don't we get a cooler looking set? So you're not coming back dressed in a suit. People are accustomed to you wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not show up not looking like you, because we won't be able to capture their attention. So how can we slowly transition first album to keep you as close to what you were that everyone fell in love with, which got us excited in the first place to come sign you, instead of trying to make you something different? Because the labels did not build your audience. You built your audience. The label didn't build the relationship with your fan base. You built the relationship with your fan base. So now if your social media was constantly having fun with your audience, and now it's just pre-save my latest track. Here's me in the studio. Here's me looking way different than what you found, but this is all they're posting. Now people are like, my guy's changed. I'm going to go find, oh, wow, who's this artist over here?
Yeah.
They're kind of talking to me now. They're kind of communicating with me now. The music's very similar. So it's like, we got to get better at this. So the labels now, you need to feel okay saying no to a label deal. You need to know that labels, what we needed them for were relationships, money, distribution. They had the only access to radio. You never saw bands on big tours that weren't signed to a label.
Yeah.
So, but wait a minute, you've got your own distribution now. You've got your own PR firm in social media.
You can get a loan from a bank.
You can get a loan from a bank. You can use, there's a lot of different things that you can do on your own. If you don't want someone to change you, I hear that a lot. I'm afraid that the label's going to change me. The smart labels and the smart label executives, and they're getting smarter every day, they are going to realize if we knew how to do it, we would have done it with the artists that we currently have. And you may be coming in, it's like I'm looking, and I will not mention the name of the artist, but there's an artist that's signed to a label that's had great opportunities. They've had great playlisting opportunities because of the record label, and their year-end Wrapped was a third of what my artist, who's independent, who has a team in place that we know what the frick we're doing, we killed them.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to knock on our door. Go, wait, how are you whooping our ass? Well, because we don't think like you.
Yeah.
And here's the bigger problem is that you as an artist are hoping that the people inside the label know what it is that they're doing. And if they're still doing A&R the way they used to do A&R 10 years ago, if they're still just focusing on radio the way they've been doing for the last 10 years, that's not the label you want to be with.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
So if if my goal is to get signed,
Yes.
right, which I know,
I think it's a bad goal to start.
But that's okay.
whatever.
Everybody, that's your goal.
If that's my goal,
Yep.
I want to get signed by a record label.
Yep.
Like, how do I actually do it in today's music business?
They will find you.
Okay.
Yeah, they will find you. They have systems in place to where they're looking to see what's popping off. Now, the key is,
as long as the fire is there.
yes, they're going to hear about you.
Yeah.
You know, they have people now that's all they do is go to chart metrics, and they'll see what's firing off, and they'll say, okay, let's go look at his socials. Let's go look at his monthly streaming numbers. Let's go, okay, this is something we want to take a look at. Now, let's say that the label doesn't find you.
Sure.
So the smart label is going to ask you these questions.
Yeah.
What are your current monthly listener streams like?
Yep.
Okay, so if you said 2.2 million, okay, so we know that consistently he's got 2 million people. Then I'm going to go, how many average listens do you get per person? 4. Okay, cool. We know that his music is working for his particular audience.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go look at your social. What's your engagement like?
Yeah.
Are people commenting? Are people sharing? What is the engagement like? How many shows did you do last year? What are your merch numbers like? That's telling me this is a small business that I want to invest in. I'm already doing 100 shows. I'm already doing this. I'm already selling this much merch. I've already got an audience that's digging on my stuff. And then they're like, we can dial in on this.
So that's the thing. It
you
really
have to
is
bring something to them that they can't do for themselves.
It really is. I just love the analogy of like bigger business acquiring smaller business.
Yes.
Like that's just it's the perfect thing. Like no big business is out here wanting to acquire a non-profitable or non-growing business.
The startup days are gone because
you are the startup.
Whatever, if you two are on the label,
Yeah.
and Henry's popping right now, I only have so many hours in the day that my team can focus their energy and effort. We're going to keep throwing gasoline on his fire. No offense. We loved you. We signed you. We loved your music, but you got to wait until, and most artists, you think being patient as an indie sucks? Try being patient when you just thought that you hit the lottery.
Yeah. So, man.
It's really hard.
They ain't ready for that type of patience.
No,
right?
and then they're asking out of their deals. You know, and the thing that I tell independent artists right now is you should be asking yourself why the superstars that you love are counting down the days till they deliver their last record, and then they can go independent. Mm-hmm. It's like Russ says, I can hire the same people that the label hires for PR, for marketing. It's like, he got tired of not being a priority, so he taught himself how to mix. He bought his own cameras and hired his own guys. I love his story.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I want to be the priority. All of you should want to be the priority.
Yeah.
And nobody cares more about your business than you. I will never care more about your business than you. You are your business. And I always tell artists too, is I said, look in the mirror. The solution and the problem are looking right back at you. What are you going to do to fix it? Do not be complacent. Do not wait for someone to come along and save you, because they're not.
Yeah.
There's so many other priorities. I mean, the label system right now works Friday to Friday. And every Friday there's a brand new release. And every Friday the creative team's putting together creative to say, pre-save my song, coming out next week. Here's the BTS. It's the same bullshit that we see every week. They work Friday to Friday. Now, most labels have 4 or 5 artists that they got to get ready. Now, I just recently did a 6-month consulting agreement with a label, and I sat down with the marketing team and I said, let me ask you a question. I said, when you guys sit down on Monday, what do you do? What is the plan that you lay out to make sure that every artist that's active on your roster is getting priority? And they looked at me like, what do you mean?
Priority.
I said, what happens? They're like, well, we'll sit down and see who's got a release on Friday. I said, so wait a minute. So the other 10 that have signed themselves to you, what's happening with them? I hope they're posting. I was like, wait, there's not a plan in place. It's like, you guys have catalog now. You could be running evergreen ads. You could be doing this. And it was like this glassed over look. So I went back to the president of the label. I said, first things first is we got to put systems in place to where the ball never stops. Mm-hmm. And I can set up an ad that's going to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, keep getting that music in front of the right person. Let this person focus on, I know what they have to focus on, but there's automation that will work for us. Yeah. There's things that we can do every day to get our music heard. And I'll say to an artist, I said, let me ask you this question. It's like, you're the president of your label. You have one artist, you. Did you do everything that you could that day to get your audience or your artist the most exposure possible? Did you post today? No, I only post 3 days a week. Okay, so you took a day off from getting your artist and your music that you said could impact lives. So you took it. Oh yeah. When's the last time you released a song? Oh man, like every couple months. Okay, so you took 2 months. What were you doing with the music that you already have out? Well, that's not my latest single. I'm working on my latest single. Well, your latest single is brand new to somebody every single day. There's 7 billion people in the world. There's 3 billion people on social media. So let's get this music out. Let's do this. So that's what I have devoted my expertise in doing, is saying, look, you've created it. Let's make sure that it's the right stuff, and let me help you find the right audience. And then as these people come into our world, what do we have in place to start building a relationship? How can we lead them down the rabbit hole we want them to go down, instead of letting Spotify tell them what they should listen to next, or YouTube tell them what they should watch next? What have we put in place that when people come to your website and you've given them the opportunity to become a part of your community, not subscribe to your list, not get my latest news and information, which just means let me send you an email every time I want to talk about myself. No one's doing that. But once you get their email, what nurture sequence do you have them going down for the next 2 weeks, making sure that they're seeing your best videos, that they're listening to your best songs, that you've given them the opportunity to follow you on maybe a social media platform that they don't follow you on? What is it that you're doing? And no one, I don't want to say no one, the majority of people teaching artists the business aren't teaching them that. Yeah. They're saying, let's build a funnel, let's run ads, let's get strangers, let's get them to do a free plus shipping, let's get them to buy a sticker pack. And I'm like, so you're trying to get strangers to buy fucking stickers. It ain't gonna work. How do we build a relationship? You know, Jelly Roll, let's put my logo on grinders. My audience loves to smoke weed. He was selling a boatload of grinders.
Yeah.
And he's smart because he knows his audience.
Yes.
But see, it goes back to know who your consumer is.
Who's listening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or who do you want to listen?
Yeah, true.
You know, and if you want them to listen, how do you make sure that what it is that you're doing falls into what they're doing?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it's like, it's crazy.
That's true. Another myth debunked.
I don't even know if we're even debunking.
We are.
We're having good
Labels,
conversations, I think.
No, I think it's important for people to understand that like labels just aren't really once again, there are handfuls of them that are doing development right, but the majority are pretty risk adverse now, where they don't want to outlay a bunch of cash.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's
why
not
would they?
smart.
It's not smart business. Why would they invest in something that hasn't already proven to be generating
when the resources
customers?
Are available for you to show them?
Exactly.
Audiences will consume my music. I can get paid. I can tour. I can sell.
Yep.
Pick me.
Yes.
Pick me. Or I just won The Voice. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Instagram following didn't go off. So outside of the story they heard on The Voice and you singing other people's songs. And I love The Voice. I love American Idol. I love it for what it is. It's a $10 million commercial. What are you going to do to put yourself in a position to take advantage of that commercial? What work are you going to do Monday to Monday before the show? That's where you're going to win.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you reaching out? Are you running ads to everybody that likes The Voice? Are you following the people that are following you now who have proven I will support an independent artist?
Yep.
Why don't independent artists, I tell them, go to The Voice, go to American Idol. Those people have already said, tell your story. Remember, we see the story before we hear the music. What's your story? How can your story relate to these people?
Oh man, that's a whole other episode there. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That part right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so another myth we want to talk about was, if I'm an independent artist, I think that I can be successful in this business without mentorship or coaching, right? And so I know obviously you spend your whole life dedicated to trying to mentor and coach artists and like help them reach their fullest potential. Like, what what benefits do mentors and coaches bring, right? Like, well, what can an artist stand to gain specifically from a mentor or a coach?
The speed of learning.
Okay.
The speed of knowledge, the speed of not making mistakes, you know. And
because the information is out there.
it is. And I'll tell you, somebody asked me one time, they said, Rick, and this was not in a music setting, this was in an entrepreneurial business setting. They're like, what would you have done different?
Yeah.
I said, I would have got help sooner.
Yeah.
I thought that I had to build all my own websites. I thought that I had to learn everything. I was the guy that somebody would offer a course, and the course was $495, and it's all the information that I needed. But they would also offer a $5,000 opportunity to have someone do it with you. So it's like the done for you, do it with you, do it yourself.
Yeah.
I would always take the cheapest, do it myself. And I found once I learned the value of my hour, it changed everything for me, because people will say time equals money.
Yeah.
No. Time is greater than money, because I can always get more money. I can't get more time. So I had to start figuring out, okay, I bill out at $300 an hour. I was so excited. This was back when WordPress was a thing. I built my own website. I built my own membership site.
How many hours did it take?
35. Okay, 35 hours, but it looked freaking good. Okay. So I run into this kid, and he goes, dude, I love your website. I go, oh, what is it that you do? He goes, I'm a website builder. So of course I'm like, this guy loves my thing. I said, out of curiosity, you see my website, you see my membership site. How long would it have taken you to build it? He said, probably about 8-10 hours. I said, okay. I said, and how much would this have cost me? He said, for that, the way you built it, because it's a good website, $1,500. And I'm like,
and at your rate, you lost about $10,500.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
So now I always try to acquire what gets me the closest proximity of the person that can say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, invest here, do that. I would have done that a long time ago. Artists seem to think that they have to figure it out on their own. Some people pride themselves in learning and knowing everything.
We've talked about that plenty of times.
It's kind of interesting, actually. You're going to be right after, potentially. This episode might be right after
the king of DIY.
A whole episode about doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with doing it yourself, but I think you didn't do it. Let's say you're going to build a house. You used a hammer. You used a tool. You used a resource. You maybe went to YouTube to learn how to frame.
Yeah.
If you didn't know how to frame. So you're not doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You are doing it. There's no DIY anything except masturbation.
There's a lot of DIYers out there.
And you don't need to go get a YouTube channel to figure out how to bust a nut. You know what I'm saying?
You might need a website or some help. But,
yes,
you know.
but you could, if you're good, you know, you don't need that.
It's old school, Rick.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This took the fucking weirdest turn. But he's not wrong.
But what I'm saying is that it's like the best in the world. LeBron James, he doesn't need a coach to teach him how to shoot a free throw, but he needs mentorship in nutrition. He needs somebody to stretch him out. He needs, the best athletes in the world that want to compete at the highest level. If you notice what they're spending outside, they have trainers. Well, they have a different trainer.
Yeah.
This person has of golfers. We were talking about golf earlier. Putting coach, driving coach, mental coach, strength coach.
Yeah.
Why are the best people in the world who are good? They're great. They're the top of their game. They're not doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
What makes me think that I can figure it out? I may figure it out, but I still need help.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do this alone. Rick, I can't afford it. Great. Subscribe to this podcast. Watch YouTube videos. Download free guides. Yeah. There's a lot of free resources that are out there. And what I'm doing with my free resources is I'm trying to solve a problem that someone might have to say, shit, if I got this just from the handout, imagine if I spent and bought an hour of his time, how much he could help me.
Yeah.
Imagine, Henry showed me how to do this beat. imagine if I just got him to do the beat.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I could spend all day trying to figure everything out. All we're doing, someone said something to me one time. I went on, I try to always find who already has my audience. So Indie Bible has my audience, independent artist, spending a couple bucks, trying to learn how to book gigs, do shows like that.
Yeah.
So we were doing Facebook Lives, just Q&As.
Yeah.
And we weren't making an offer at the time. And an offer means we weren't offering something for them to buy.
Yeah.
And we went on and we gave it our best. And I had somebody email me and he says, dude, I just want to say thank you so much for not trying to, scam us independent artists and ask us for money and, just really trying to sell something. So I knew that in a day, there was going to be an email coming to him with an offer. So
Did you warn him?
I reached out. I said, hey, what's your phone number? He sends me his phone number. I call him up. I said, listen, let me explain something.
You're about to get this email.
Oh, I even went better than that. I said, if my lips are moving, I'm selling. I may not be asking at that particular time, but I'm earning the right to make you an offer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see this email come tomorrow, don't panic. I said, I may not have asked you, but I showed you that I am the best resource available for the person that feels I can solve their problem.
Did he buy?
He did.
Oh, fuck yeah, Rick, let's go.
And I've had people before that it's like people will say something to me. They're like, dude, I can't afford it. I said, let me ask you this. Can you afford not to do it? Can you afford not to have this information? It's like, what is it going to cost you not to have this information? And that's the thing. It's like, I have to make it their idea because they don't know what they need. Henry Ford said, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. But instead, he knew they needed a car. Technology is your friend. Technology has been designed for speed. Almost every new thing that comes in, it's like the light switch. Instead of having to go over, build a fire, get a lantern, light your house. It's like everything was built for speed.
Yeah.
Email. Now I didn't have to just send you the letter. The pager, the cell phone, everything that was built was to speed up some type of process. The microwave oven, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So speed, what do you need to get you faster to your goal? Sometimes it's just knowledge.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a skill. So when you can identify, I always say we live in a world of next. We did this, what's next? Okay, we just did this, what's next? What do you need? And a simple tool I'll give you. Start at the goal and work backwards. Now, I also have a coaching background. I coached Division I college soccer for many years. And we were only allowed to be with our athletes for 20 hours a week. There was a limit on the amount of time that we could spend with them. So why would we waste our time on things that we knew weren't going to help us get to the goal of playing for a national championship?
Yeah.
We weren't out reteaching them how to do things that they already knew how to do. And that's what a lot of courses and a lot of things, it's like, no, when you have the coach, it could say, look, you have a toolbox. Today you need the screwdriver. And here's what you're going to do with the screwdriver. Now you have a wrench, so don't pick up the wrench and you don't need the wrench right now. But by having that coach that says, today you need this tool, today you need this tool, you have all the tools. So stop trying to use all the tools on things. Let's not waste our time on things that we don't need. So that's why having a coach and having a mentor is to help you spend the time on the things that you need to spend the time on. I always say, focus on what you're good at, outsource the rest.
Yeah.
Outsource the rest. If I can't do this, I'm going to say, who do I have proximity? Who can I get to either show me how to do this in the quickest amount of time because my skill set will allow me to pull it off, and I'm limited on my budget, or who can I get to turn it around because budget isn't an issue, because I've already learned that if I can spend $5,000 to make $10,000, how fast can I spend that $5,000?
Yeah.
Not, oh my God, I just spent $5,000.
Yep. It's a mindset shift for a lot of artists. It's huge. Even for us, it's a huge mindset shift. So like I can understand and empathize with those that like haven't trained themselves to think that way.
But that's because they haven't been around that yet.
Exactly. And if it's worked for someone else that you know and trust, I think that's when you start to, right? Because like a lot of independent artists, who don't have that mentality also like congregate together,
Sure.
and they're all just like not willing to invest in
Well,
these
and
things,
a lot
you
of
know?
marketers, what they're going to do is they're going to try to complicate something so much where they're like, shit, I'll just give you the $5,000 to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I want to give you the chance. I want to teach you to fish.
Yeah.
You know, I want to give you the opportunity. So I'm going to give you options.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, we talked about the DIY, DFW, and the do it.
Yeah.
You know, done for you. You know, it's like, so if someone's going to do it all for you, it's going to cost you more money. I like the done with you model because I feel that saves me time because I'm learning from an expert while I'm doing it, but I'm also learning the skill set to do it myself.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Best of both
I
worlds.
think it
That's
is.
what I like.
That's what I like as well. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to do it done for you, like getting my car fixed.
Yeah, I don't need to watch
Yeah.
you fucking.
Yeah, sure. I could go to
whatever they do under there.
It's like, hey, this is what you do it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
do you. But this is where I can be more productive in my day. You know, teaching people how to batch record content. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people will say, I just don't have time. Well, I'm more concerned about what you do at the time you do have,
Yeah.
not with the time you don't have. Because we can't fix that. You're at work. You're at school. You're a parent. You've got something. What are you doing with the 4 hours you have?
Yep.
And what's your goal and what needs to be done now to get to that next, to where we get
Facts.
to the next.
Facts. Another myth debunked, Henry. All right, last one. I don't really want to spend too much time on this one, but I think it's an interesting topic we've like somewhat covered before. But a lot of artists think that like I'm too old to blow up or I'm too old to build a career in music. So they think it's a young man's sport.
Sure. If somebody asks me, Rick, am I too old? I say yes.
Whoa.
Because you already think that.
They think that, yeah.
Oh, he got me.
I knew where it was going.
I didn't, bro.
You already think
I
that.
was like, damn, I thought this was a myth. Rick, not a.
Now, age does matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you show up at 50 with no audience, no music, because now you've just retired from your job and you say, now I have the money and time to spend to build this, I think it's too late.
Okay.
Okay. That's just me personally.
Sure.
Now, not to say it can't happen, but once again, I would say, what is your goal?
Yeah.
My goal is to share my music with the world. Nope, it's not too late for you.
Yeah.
You've got money you put aside. Let's get your songs quality. Let's go run some ads, see if there's an audience for what it is that you do. Let's get your music out there because you want your music to impact the world. But Rick, I want a record label. Label's not going to sign you.
Yeah.
Unless you show up at 50 with an audience, making bank. They're
Lots of
going to say,
leverage.
hey, we'll take you and your 2 songs and we'll make as much money as we can. We'll do a licensing deal with you.
Yeah.
You know, we'll take it. We're good. But also too, is if you're too young. Most young people, just because you won your local talent contest, just because your mama thinks you're the best thing that you've ever seen, and just because every one of your neighbors says you should be on the radio, the phone is everyone's radio today. So I could teach you how to get on as many phones as you possibly can. But there is a reason why most young people don't run businesses or don't go to work. So I tell the young people, let's treat it like college for the next 4 years. Let's get you with the best professors. Let's get you in the best courses. Let's get you building it and treating it like a business. And if you're so impatient that you're not willing, I can't help you.
Yeah.
And no one is willing to help you. Disney Radio left. So there's not even a market for young people. Go look at the charts right now. Taylor's 35, Kendrick's 35, Doja's 35.
Damn,
These are
you're
the
right, dude.
people.
The millennials are fucking killing it, bro. Let's go.
But the millennials have been building on this
I know.
for a long time.
But that's my
people. But it is. But it is. It's like it's like I'm 57 years old.
Dang,
I
Rick.
love golf. I play golf every day. I cannot go on the PGA Tour,
Do you really play every day?
pretty much.
Oh, that's how he got the fucking handicap. He was talking about, bro.
I'm playing indoors or outdoors, but I try to put a golf club in my hand every single day if possible.
Damn, bro.
Okay, so
the dream.
That doesn't mean that just because I want to so bad that I can go play in the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Doesn't matter. It's not going to happen.
No.
Now, it also means I can't go be on the senior tour. Why? Because I didn't play the PGA Tour for the 20 years leading up to the senior tour.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. But that doesn't mean I don't spend a lot of money on golf. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy golf. I just understand that where I'm at in my golf is I can win a couple $100 from my buddies on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm okay with that.
Myth number 7, debunked, Henry. God, the Oracle.
By the way, you still owe me some money for hole 12, par 3. A couple days ago. You know,
We're not going to talk about that, Henry. Yeah,
You guys have to come to Nashville. I
Sorry,
belong.
my headphones weren't working. Let's go to the next segment, Henry.
I would love to play some golf in Nashville.
I know.
No,
sometime,
come to
but
Nashville. So I
seriously.
also have an indoor facility. It's called the Golf Sanctuary. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's private suites. So we play 300, last 2 Christmases ago, we played in the Dominican. We played Pebble Beach. We played all the ocean courses inside.
Shit.
Never lose balls.
Yeah,
Love that. You could drink.
Yeah.
you've
I saw
gotta-
you guys take your shot before. They have a great
Yeah,
bar
but
there.
that's my one drink.
Yeah, but-
Rick thinks that I'm like lit because
No, it's good.
Excuses
No, it's
for
good.
our traditional shot.
But yeah, we'll go indoors. We'll have it as a marketing meeting.
No, but it is
Oracle's
12 it is
Oracle
12:30.
Sanctuary, bro. The Oracle Sanctuary.
There we
Oracle
go.
Sanctuary.
Crazy.
All right, Rick, we've entered the final segment of the podcast.
Yeah.
I know you're familiar with it.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, he really did talk
I
about
watched
it.
20
Really?
episodes to see what kind of questions I might get asked.
I love that. I love that.
He
Well,
goes,
yeah.
and Henry has to have his thing at the end. He literally put it that way, just so you know.
All right, calm down. For those who haven't tapped in before, and this is their first episode, this is the rapid fire rampage.
Let's go.
It's going to be 3 parts. We'll start with the short answer questions. Sure. Just give me a few sentences. We'll move on to the other 2. I'll explain them as we go. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Starting with, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Ben as an interviewer? Honestly.
Honestly,
Honestly.
he did his homework. We were texting all last night. I would give him a 10. Yeah, I would give him a 10 because he did his homework.
Dude.
We just got done talking about being realistic and not being yes man. And
You should be realistic with like the type of answers you're gonna get because you're getting flamed every time you ask this.
No, I'm
it's
not.
good,
I'm
it's
just.
good.
I'm just saying. I love people that do their homework. I love people that do their research.
Yes.
When he said, "Hey, this number and this number were really close to be able to serve our audience the best. Can we adjust this?" I don't care if he had a lisp.
Henry
He would
doesn't
be
know
a
what
10.
goes on behind the scenes, bro.
Yeah, he's the man.
He thinks
You got a good partner.
he thinks I just walk in.
why do you think I had this question? I'm giving you flowers with this
Yes.
question, dummy.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, just keep that one going.
Right, moving on. Rick, what are 3 of the most underrated strategies for music marketing?
Ads, because people think they're expensive and they're not.
Specifically Meta ads? or-
For me, yes.
Yeah.
I don't like Spotify ads. I'll tell you why, is because the only people that see them were too cheap to pay premium. So are they really going to buy tickets and buy merch and buy things like that? So ads is the big one. YouTube. There's so many vocal warm-ups. There's so many cool resources that are available on YouTube that I really like. That's underrated. And the other thing is the asking for help in your current network of people. You think that you need the A-listers, but there could be someone in your community that could help you do something or know someone.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
Rick, how can artists balance being authentic and being strategic on social media?
Well, I think being authentic is strategic.
I was about to literally, that was in my brain.
Yeah,
Rick.
being authentic is strategic because most people will try to chase trends that aren't right for them or chase whatever they think's currently working. So strategic for me is looking at the data, understanding when your audience is present, and doing what you can to become top of mind for them. So it's like if they're decorating their Christmas tree, it's the day after Thanksgiving, throw up some social media content of you decorating your Christmas tree. Or if you have a Christmas song, have it playing in the background while you're decorating your tree and ask them to say, hey, have you started building your playlist for Christmas yet? This song's available. Those are authentic, but also being strategic.
Authentic is strategic.
It is, bro.
So good. An indie artist comes to you with $10,000 to promote their new album. Give us a basic rundown of how you spend it.
Yeah. So first thing is I'm going to see how big their current audience is. And if they don't have an audience for it, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of that budget and go create creative content pieces on the songs that they think best serve that community. So we're going to use money for content creation.
How much do you think we should spend? Let's get like granular if we can.
Yeah, it depends. So it's like we're going to Los Angeles with Jordana, and we're getting 3 visualizer videos done. So that's going to cost us about $4,000.
Okay.
And they're going to be solid visualizers. They're going to be full song visualizers that then we'll throw into CapCut and chop them up. So we're going to take $4,000 and get 3 pieces of content for that $4,000, but turn it in to about 100 pieces of content. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with an ad budget, and we're going to take awareness ads first. We're going to take one audience, it's called your ad set, your audience, but we're going to take 3 different parts of the song, and we're going to do the old Andrew Southworth model on it. We're going to drop $5, $5, $5, see which parts hit and what parts pop, and then we'll start adding budget to that. But we'll take a couple $1,000s for that. And then we're going to hold on to the rest of the money until we go back and look at the data and see what worked. And then we're going to throw more money on what worked. So
the reacting part.
Correct. Instead of just spending all 10,000 on ads and then looking to see what happened, we're going to keep. So right now we've only spent $5,000. And we're going to spend $5,000 or $6,000, and we're going to hold on to that $4,000 to see what needs to happen. We may need new creative. We may need to be able to run more ads, but we're not going to spend the whole $10,000 first.
Wow. So good. What metrics should artists track to measure their digital marketing success?
Engagement. How long are people watching your video?
Okay, so watch time.
Yeah, watch time is good. If they're willing to watch, that also to me means they're willing to watch more of the right stuff. So what we may do is we may start with a verse and a chorus. We may start with just the hook. We may start whatever, and then we may retarget with the whole entire video at that point. How much time are they spending with you? How many times, if I'm looking at, I mentioned this earlier, the metrics of streaming, are we getting 1 million streams a month, but only 1 stream per person? Why aren't they, and you have multiple songs, so why aren't they doing, so if you got 4.5 million streams and you're averaging 5.6 per person, that's a great metric to look at. Also shares. Do people on TikTok saves? How many people are saving it? How many people are using that sound? And that's what labels are wanting more of right now is UGC, user generated content. It's like, did this part of the song generate other people to want to use it? No, let's go try another part of the song. So I'm looking at engagement. Whether it be listening, whether it be sharing, whether it be saving, whether it be watching.
What is your most controversial music industry take right now?
That you need editorial playlisting.
Ooh.
Because right now, most of it is algorithmic. And that's based on what is your audience doing, not who put you up. Not who put you on. Thank you, Lord.
The ghosts like that one.
Bro.
Yes.
That's
either a that's either a bullshit.
Daniel Ek right there.
That's either a bullshit detector that just went off.
Yeah.
Or it's like, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And for those that are just listening to the podcast,
We did have a little
lights
light
are flickering
flicker.
here.
Yeah.
We are solar powered here at the One More Time
Yes,
Studios,
God.
real energy efficient.
Yeah, it's true. It's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
A cloud just went in front of the sun.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it.
They weren't charging for long enough.
Apparently. Last one, the short answer. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Part one.
Part 1.
It's good stuff. Really good stuff.
The lights are going crazy right now.
I know. I like it. It's, it means something good.
Something's happening.
We're moving into part 2. It's the this or that. I'm going to
Okay.
give you 2 choices.
Yep.
You just pick one. Here we
Yep.
go. Starting with great beats or great lyrics?
Lyrics.
Slow community building or viral hits?
Slow community building.
10 Instagram reels or 1 music video?
10 Instagram reels.
Public fan group or private community?
Private community.
Controversial or remain neutral?
Controversial.
Post consistently or post strategically?
Strategically consistent.
It's a little bit of
Damn,
cop out. We'll
Rick.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, strategically.
Okay.
Because if you consistently post crap, you're just posting crap.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Influencer campaigns or playlist placements?
Influencer campaigns.
Hashtags or no hashtags?
No hashtags.
Inspirational quotes or memes?
Inspirational quotes.
Kendrick-
Personally,
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Memes could work for
memes
others.
could very much work for
Absolutely.
others, yes. But for me, it's motivational quotes.
Okay. Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick,
And finally, take a full-time job at a major label or leave the music industry forever.
take a full-time job at a label.
Okay.
That wasn't even that. I feel like
I've been
Mr.
tempted-
Entrepreneurial.
I've been
he's a
tempted-
friend of a label.
Sure, I know.
Yeah, I've been tempted to leave the music industry, but what I want my legacy to be is not helping entrepreneurs. It's helping people who have dreams with their music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
mean, so
Very nice.
even at a label, I could do that. But if I left the music industry completely,
Nice.
yeah, it wouldn't work.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You have
Yeah, I was
any
going to say,
heart-
give
you have
him the
any-
golf
Golf clap.
Oh, okay. That's what that is.
Yeah. The last section is the word association. I'll give you one word. You
Well,
just give me
boy.
first
All right.
word you think of. Yep, off the top of your head.
Yep.
You're not judged on the word you respond with, only on the speed at
Okay.
which you respond.
Yep.
Starting with music,
Life.
soda,
Pop.
algorithm,
Shit.
alien,
Nothing.
indie,
Artist.
whale,
Killer.
AI,
My friend.
car,
Ferrari.
A&R,
Needed.
government,
Shit.
hustle,
Great.
content,
Short.
Lil,
Wayne.
$150,000.
Music business degree.
Let's go. Go get
And if
that,
you
by the
would
way.
like a copy of
Yes.
the $150,000 music degree, just DM the word book
Oh, wow.
at my Instagram page at Rick Barker
I'm
Music.
doing that
At Rick
right
Barker Music.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll send you a
What's your
free
handle?
digital
Music
download.
Business Oracle, I think it was.
Yeah, that's
As
it.
always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify Podcast, Apple Podcasts. We are here each and every week for the most part, except for
Bada
in
bing,
December.
bada boom.
We love you guys. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.